All right, and we're live. Welcome to the Reclaimer Book Club, where we every month we read every single Halo. We read a Halo book in the series, and each month we read a different book. And this month we read Ghosts of Onyx. All right, Courier, summarize.
Um. Um.
Do you not
This.
remember?
Is it
No,
okay if I summarize?
I remember. I just got done watching the second episode of the Halo TV show with everybody, so my brain is a little fried right now. Excuse me.
Wait, you were watching the Halo TV show?
He was.
Yes, and a magical black crackhead man fucking describes the secrets of the Halo rings to John, and then the chick from the Covenant gets naked, and that's all I can remember.
With the actual nudity.
Dude.
You're kidding me.
The fact that you went through both episodes, meanwhile I only
Dude.
got through.
Okay. Yeah, me and Barry only got through halfway through the first episode before we were like, fuck this shit. Like,
I had
we're
to suffer
done.
through the
Oh,
first
it gets so
episode
much
2
worse.
times.
It gets so much worse.
Do they
Also-
cuff Arbiter? Do they cuff
also-
my boy Arbiter? That's what I
No,
want
they
to know.
haven't gotten but Halsey's master plan is to make a Flash clone of herself, and then somehow have the Flash clone like use the Minority Report thing to project like Cortana or whatever, and then she's gonna have Cortana like override the Spartans' like conscious mind or whatever, so Cortana can run their bodies like robots or something.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Why is Halsey evil?
I don't know. Also, Keys is evil.
God,
too.
did Karen
Keys is-
Travis
Keys
write
is-
this series?
Keys is also black and evil.
Wait, what? I know
Oh,
he
yeah.
was black, but he's evil?
Oh, can I
he's
tell him, Courier?
Oh,
he
God.
keeps talking about fucking Chief or whatever, like he's a robot, and he keeps talking about how he, like, if he doesn't fall in line, he'll have to kill him. But then the moment Halsey brings up the AI thing about, like, taking over their minds with the AI, all of a sudden Keys does a 180 and is like, but Halsey, the Spartans are people. You can't do that to them.
What
and I'm
the
like, is that why you were talking about killing them and treating them like your fucking property a minute ago there, sir?
Oh, God. Dude, this guy is more evil than Colonel Ackerson.
Yeah.
Colonel Ackerson at
Wasn't-
first had his qualms about the Spartan program, but when he made the Spartan 3s, although they were pushed harder than the Spartan 2s, he still made sure that they were given fair treatment under military regulation.
Nah.
Yeah, but he still created the Spartan 3s to die. Speaking of that, it's now
To be
time
fair,
to...
Yeah,
Sorry,
we'll
sorry.
get to that.
I'll attempt to
Shit,
give
I'm gonna have
this-
to see the second episode after
I'll
this. I
attempt
need
to give a
suffer.
summary of the book.
That's okay.
I'm
We'll
fucking
help you along if you fuck up.
Indeed.
Okay, so a basic overview, and I'm gonna go like high level this time instead of going into all the nitty gritty details, because we
Alright.
can fucking do that as we go along.
Yes.
So, a high level overview basically is during the Human Covenant War, after the creation of the Spartan 2s, everybody realized kind of like how much of a success the Spartan 2s were, but they had some drawbacks, including the fact they got revealed to the public for morale purposes. There was only like 24 of them or whatever out in the field,
50.
and how expensive they were. And so Colonel James Ackerson, who is basically the head of a bunch of Oni projects. He's kind of like Dr. Halsey's
Arch nemesis.
rival. Yeah. He goes to the head of Oni, Admiral
Paragoski.
Paragoski or whatever, and
Who's also in the
proposes-
TV show.
who's also in the TV show and is
And is
retarded.
not an Indian
Yes.
woman.
Yeah, so he goes to Parangoski and proposes the creation of a Spartan 3 program to basically address these three flaws of the Spartans, which is make more of them, make them more effective, and make them cheaper.
And make
So,
them
and-
more disposable.
Make them more disposable. Yeah, they're basically going to make disposable super soldiers for Black Ops projects to buy the Covenant time, trading lives for time, basically. Yeah.
Yes.
And so during this or whatever, they kidnap a Spartan 2, Kurt, Spartan 051, to train the Spartan 3s. And then for the next
14.
14 years, basically. They have 3 classes.
21
each
years now
comprised
that I
of,
think about it. 7 times 3 is 21. So yeah, 21 years.
well, 21 years, yeah. And so
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the next 21 years during the Human Covenant War, which pretty much covers all of the Human Covenant War since it was 25 years long, but
Yeah.
so for the rest of the war, they train these 3 classes of Spartans, each comprised of 300 Spartan 3s.
Get it?
The first class takes out a bunch of targets, but everybody dies. Second class takes out a bunch of strategic targets, but only 2 people survive. And towards the end of the Human Covenant War, as everything on Earth during the events of Halo 2 and 3 are going down, they are training, or they have finished training, a third class of Spartan 3's Gamma Company. And so basically, the planet that they're trained all the Spartan 3s on turns out Onyx, yeah, turns out to actually be a Forerunner shield world, which is basically the other half of the Halo plan. Use the Halos to kill everything, and then use the shield worlds to, well, protect everything. They find it's a shield world, and so Halsey and a bunch of Spartan 2s she has the UNSC command send to help them out.
Fred, Linda, and William.
Yeah, they fight through both Sentinels who were activated, and the shield world itself activated from the events of Halo CE when the what's it called, when the
Alpha Halo was destroyed.
yeah,
Yes.
Alpha Halo was destroyed or almost activated. They fight off a bunch of Sentinels that were activated because of that, and eventually fight off a Covenant armada that shows up over the planet to.
Oh yeah. Also, Kelly and Dr. Halsey show up. I forget.
Yeah, I
when.
said that.
Okay. Yes.
They show up to. So they fight off the Covenant armada that shows up.
All right.
And the book ends basically with the Spartan 3s of Gamma Company, at least a couple teams worth of them, and a bunch of the Spartan 4s, Spartan 2s, mainly those of Blue Team, along with Chief Mendez, who helped train the Spartan 2s, and Kelly Halsey, basically all holding off in the center of this shield world or whatever as it's closing. Yep. And right before it closes, Kurt manages to save the rest of the Spartan 3s and 2s and ends up sacrificing himself by, right when the portal closes, detonating 2 nukes and wiping out the rest of the Covenant forces on the planet. And
Which then caused the planet to implode and just annihilate the Covenant armada because the Sentinels just get pissed and they just pretty much complete destruction of all Covenant forces.
Yeah. Also, they were in the core of the planet because the shield worlds, they're artificial, and anybody who's played Halo 4 would remember
And Halo
Requiem.
Wars.
yeah,
that's
but
true. Yeah, Requiem is fucking Halo Wars.
Requiem is a different class of shield world, which
But
different
same
type of shield world.
concept.
It's the same
Same
kind of
concept.
I guess.
Yes, but how the core, how the planet is artificial and there are multiple layers, and that you can teleport to the core, and you can actually walk around in the the core of the planet. So yeah, destroying the core with a nuke, destabilize the planet.
It turns out to be a micro Dyson sphere, basically in Slipstream or whatever, so people can't actually interact with it. But yeah, when that happens or whatever, he wipes out the Covenant armada. It activates the rest of the Sentinels that comprise Onyx, because the planet actually turns to be made out of Sentinels. They destroy the rest of the Covenant fleet. And then the book ends basically with Halsey, Blue Team, and a couple of the Spartan 3s, along with Mendez, being trapped inside the shield world, and them waiting for rescue, basically. And this takes place or spans the events of. It basically spans the events of from before in the beginning of Halo 2 to basically after the end of Halo 3. And that may seem like a long period of time, but people forget that Halo 2 and 3, both of those games take place within a week of each other.
Basically back to back.
Ever.
Yeah. It's back to back, basically.
I actually, back when I first played Halo 3, after when I first played Halo 3, after playing Halo 2, because I played Halo 3 before I played Halo 2, I actually thought that Chief was crashing from the Forerunner ship from Halo 2. But I think that's I don't think that's the case. I think that
In the
actually
intro
was
for Halo 3?
yeah in the intro. Yeah.
No, that is what he's doing.
Oh, that really? Okay.
Yeah.
He gets.
It-
I forget why he falls off the ship, but he does somehow, and he uses a piece of the ship's hull or whatever to like shield himself
Okay.
as
Yep,
he
and
re-enters.
glide to Earth.
Yeah.
he
Okay.
he uses the Sentinel deployment door to fall from.
From orbit to Earth.
Was that in one of the books? Fuck.
It was in one of the comics.
There was
called,
a comic.
Okay.
There was a
Okay, it's in a
comic.
comic. That explains
As
stuff.
soon as Chief was detected on the ship at the edge of Earth system, the ship went into slow burn because they wanted to get him killed or off the ship before they make it planet side.
Mhm.
And one more thing in that same comment, Chief was just had a sniper or beam rifle. He was ready to kill Truth right then and there. Yet, I kid you not, a sniper jackal stuck up behind him and shot him in the back and knocked him down and foiled his plans of killing Truth.
Uh-huh.
Sniper jackals, even in the comic, are
They're
assholes.
fucking assholes.
Yep.
Dude, actually, come to think of it, I kind of imagine like because it's funny whenever I visualize the books, whenever I'm reading them, it's always funny because I always imagine it with the game assets. So with Fall of Reach, it was mostly like Halo Reach and Combat Evolved's assets. For Halo the Flood, it was mostly Combat Evolved. For what was it? First Strike, it was a mix of Reach, Halo 2, and Halo Combat Evolved. And then for this book, it was like a mix of Halo 2 and Halo 3's art style. Actually, but speaking of Halo, but actually come to think of it, one of the things that I liked about this book that you didn't mention in the summary was like the Covenant like side
Oh, yeah.
like I thought it was done better than the Covenant like side stories in the Flood. Cause
the Covenant side stories in the non Tweedledee and Tweedledum of the Covenant.
yes, it was basically like the Covenant side stories, but not like a Saturday morning cartoon.
As
Give or
in,
take, the way they were written, I was almost rooting for them as much as I was rooting for the Spartans.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was like, it really does capture the essence of Halo 2, where you're rooting for both Chief and the Arbiter.
Yeah,
But-
as in, we didn't like all the side stuff around the Covenant, unless it was that grunt and elite.
Oh yeah,
I actually like that stuff in the Flood. I forgot.
yeah, no,
I
it
didn't
was
mind.
it was enjoyable, but it was like it felt out of place and it felt very like I said, it's like a Saturday morning cartoon.
Which works for the Covenant, surprisingly.
It actually
It does
does.
and it doesn't. It does kind of make them seem. I mean, to be fair, like after like when you read like a lot of the like the later books after the Flood, and you realize, wow, their technology is very like very crude, despite being very advanced. Like Covenant, like probably do like legit think like 2 + 2 = 5. And like they just happen to like build because they think because the Covenant are imitative rather than innovative, so they don't actually design anything of their own. They just copy Forerunner designs and make it worse. So they probably do think like 2 + 2 = 5, and that's why they're like technology. They're so incapable of like utilizing their technology to its full extent.
Yeah, I also like how
Uh,
the elites aren't completely unified during the schism.
mm-hmm.
That is one line.
Oh yeah, because there was the one guy that was like, "I want to make sweet
ship
love to the
master.
Flood," and then like, yeah,
Voro.
no,
Yeah,
Voro
Voro.
was the guy that shot the at the time shipment. Wait, was it Voro or was
Okay,
it?
let's see. Basically, the shipmaster's like, the Flood are creations of the Forerunners. We should preserve them. And Voro realizes, yeah, this guy's fucking crazy. Grabs the needler, chink, 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 boom. Kills
Yes.
the shipmaster, wipes the blood off, gets helmet and both figure when he says, all right, I am the captain now. Any objections? Nope, 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 nope. We're all for you.
Oh hey, Proton Stalkers in the chat. What's
Oh,
up? Anyway, but yeah, no, oh yeah, there was also the Imperial Fleet Admiral from the Covenant. I forget his name. That one.
Zaitan.
Yeah, Zaitan. Okay, yeah, that's his name.
Yeah, he's in.
But yeah,
He's in the Sins of the Prophets mod. So
yeah, he's in the Sins of the Prophets mod. But I fucking love the fact that he's like this most badass like alien commander. But then he ends up getting blown up because one of the grunts finds the fucking Nova bomb from First Strike.
And Wickham leaves a message. Yeah, you know, what, I'll go get the book and read the message, but you guys can talk.
Okay.
No, I was gonna say no.
that was
He's
that
trying
was
to
a
he's trying to stop the engineers from fixing the bomb that blows up. So
Oh.
yeah. He thought it was a black box recorder of a ship, and he didn't want the engineers to mess with it because he thought it would basically sully them. But then a grunt presses play on the message.
And it just blows up. Dude, I fucking that whole thing was just hilarious. You have this like badass elite commander, and then all of like he just like he doesn't even go out in like a like epic battle. He goes out because one of his like grunts was just like, oh, what does button do? Push, boom. And then totally like I also at the same time the Great Schism is happening and they're fighting like the brutes.
Yep.
So like I was rooting for the elites and then this happened and I was just like, oh shit, that fucking sucks.
Yep. I have the book and I'll read the quote that Whitcomb
Alright.
put in the message.
Oh yeah, the message is badass.
This is the prototype Nova bomb. 9 fusion warheads encased in lithium triade armor. When detonated, it compresses its fusible material to a neutron star density, boosting the thermonuclear warhead 100-fold. I am Vice Admiral Danforth Whitcomb, temporary commander to UNSC Base Reach. To the Covenant Uglies that might be listening, you have a few seconds to play to your damned even gods, and you all have a nice day in hell.
Good. Amen.
Amen. Yeah, and another thing I enjoyed about this book before we get to the individual notes was the fact that the Great Schism's happening over High Charity, and they realize how dangerous the Flood is in ship-to-ship combat, and it's like, look, brutes, I know we hate each other, but let's just cease fire and concentrate everything we can on the Flood. And one ship is getting compromised by the Flood, the shipmaster has the decency to lower his shields just before he gets assimilated, they destroy it, and then they resume fighting. I just love that detail.
Yeah, no, that was pretty good. Also, I also thought it was funny during the Great Schism because Blue Team they hijack a Covenant destroyer, the Bloodied Spirit. And
they do it-
when the brutes are like they like basically are calling for help. Hey, help us take out this elite cruiser. This say, and then they're like they have to show up on the hologram, and it's like, hey, dude, it's like, wait a minute,
Demon!
fuck.
Just like in Halo Infinite.
Dude, that whole thing was just like perfect. Dude. Honestly, I feel like the Ghosts of Onyx is like the Flood, but done better in a lot of ways because it's taking place during the events of Halo 2 and 3, but like at the same time, it doesn't like have the and then Chief goes to the level.
The Master Chief loaded his MA5B assault rifle.
No, it would be the MA5C now because it's Halo 3. Then the Chief.
it does.
They use C's and K's. The 3s use the K model.
Yeah,
MA5.
no, I think they still use the MA5B in the book, but I'm just saying the MA5C was the assault rifle in the game Halo 3. I know this because I'm a fucking Halo gun nerd.
Continue.
Anyway, but yes, so like with the but speaking of the Spartan 2s, like Kurt might be my favorite Spartan 2. Like he is like your typical Spartan 2, but also not. Like the reason why they picked him was because he was like a lot like had more like emotional range than the like most of the Spartan 2s.
He's the dad we all wish we had.
Yes, and it basically and like that's the thing though, because he like cares so much for the Spartan 3s, and when they all die, he blames himself for the death of like the Spartan 3s. He's like, damn it, I wasn't good enough. I wasn't a good enough teacher to them. Like it's my failure. And like where actually that's funny. Well, not funny, but like he actually does like put chemicals like in the Spartan the Gamma Company's brain that basically like gives them an adrenaline rush, but at the same time just like kind of turns on their lizard brain and they don't have any like higher cognitive functions, and they have to like take drugs in order to like prevent that from like fucking
Destroying
up
their
their
mind.
head.
So basically, a permanent berserker rage.
Yes. But he did that even though that was like illegal. And I love it when when Dr. Halsey eventually finds out. She's basically like, "That's my boy." Like she acts like,
Yeah, and there is a
uh,
progression with Whitcomb when it comes to the Spartan threes. Like at first he thinks they would be like yeah they're meant for
Wickham
suicide
died in
missions.
First Strike. Remember?
Ackerson.
Yeah,
Ackerson,
Colonel
sorry,
Ackerson.
Ackerson, sorry, but with Ackerson there is a progression with him throughout the book. Like with like slowly he goes from not liking the Spartans like in the Spartan program in general to actually greenlighting a lot of the ideas Kurt had just to make them survive more.
hmm
As in he himself starts to respect Halsey and then his own Spartan threes.
Which actually, come to think of it, yeah, because Colonel Ackerson, I think he shows up in Fall of Reach, and he's kind
First
of a
Strike.
dickhead in Fall of Reach. He shows up in First Strike, and then he's also a dick. Was he only in First Strike? I remember him being in Fall of Reach.
He was a major. He wasn't physically there in First Strike. Not First Strike. He was there in Fall of Reach, but it was more like, oh, Ackerson did this, and it's clear.
Oh
that
yeah,
Ackerson
yeah,
really
because he
succeeded.
was the one he was like he set up the training course to test the new Mark V armor, and he did it to make it way more dangerous than it needed to be. Which is like basically because he's a dickhead and he doesn't like the Spartan 2s.
No, he hates the chief with a passion.
Yes. Which actually I thought it was so funny that Cortana basically hacked his file to get him sent back onto the front lines in that book.
Yep. Like sending a message to his wife saying, "Hey, by the way, your husband has been spending hundreds of thousands of credits on brothels. Have fun."
Yeah, dude, Cortana in the books is just hilarious and amazing. We didn't get to talk about that when we were talking about First Strike, but I actually I feel like Cortana was probably one of the best characters in First Strike because like she like went through so much in that book. But back to Ghost of Onyx. What were we talking about? We were talking about the Spartans. Yeah. We talked about the Spartans.
Yeah,
Actually, before I forget, because I do want to start a new tradition. Because thanks to you, Forrest, because
Oh,
you're
yep.
the one that technically started this. Because you sent the one meme from Halo: The Flood of the fucking
Keys.
soy jack.
Grapevine.
Yes, that was hilarious. So yes, I think we are gonna start a new tradition of where we have the book club memes, and I will be including the one from First Strike that we didn't get to cover in that stream.
Thank you. Courier, you
Yes.
doing good?
yeah.
Nice to hear.
Oh yeah, Courier, you
No,
there?
I'm still here. I just haven't gotten a chance to say anything. So.
Oh, we're so
Go
sorry.
right ahead. The floor is yours, my friend.
Well, I was just gonna say, wouldn't it be better to start like going into the actual events of the book in terms of like from beginning to end, like because I give an overall summary. Wouldn't it be better to like, give specifics or whatever?
Okay. Yeah, sure. Like, you could do that. I mean, we kind of been doing that, but out of chronological order. Like, if there's anything that you like.
We could do it if anybody wants to discuss anything. Like, does anybody want to discuss anything about the opening of the book with Beta Company?
Oh,
Yes. Yes, I'd like to not discuss, but say my thoughts. Overall, that was still one of the best pieces of Halo literature I've read. And when you're reading or listening to a story and you could just visualize the events perfectly, that's what I imagined so well. Well, of Operation Torpedo is what it was called. I could easily picture the Spartan 3s just cutting down a Covenant, ripping the energy sword out of Elite's hand and cutting down. And the part where the Covenant cruisers are called in, then I could easily just imagine shows like the massive Halo Wars base or Covenant Industrial Facility, and out of the clouds you just see just multiple Covenants just come out and start glassing everything. And I know people have the stereotype that Spartan 3s are just suicidal and they're useless, but no, it's quite the opposite. think about it. The Covenant went from, okay, we could take these guys to glass it all as a last resort to kill them. So that should say something.
Yeah, and I would point out, Ackerson wanted them to do the missions that would be too risky even for Spartan 2s, but it doesn't mean that he didn't just throw them away. Like they had countermeasures, so in case there are survivors, they are brought back and rehabilitated and given respite.
All right, so
Just
we
like
got
how
the
Lucy, became trainers.
Halo memes. Okay, speaking of Spartan 3s, it's like, Spartan 3s, how do we survive this mission? UNSC. That's the neat part. You don't.
I would say change UNSC to Oni.
Yeah.
No, I just found this one off of Google. So, I also found this one. Sir, we're Spartan 3s. We're not meant to be, or we're meant to be expendable. Kurt, not to me.
Yeah,
Yeah, Kelly in the
and
post.
unlike the Spartan 2s, the Spartan 3s are really volunteers.
Yeah.
Oh, they volunteer from their orphans or whatever. Basically, Covenant made them orphans.
Yeah.
I got some
Yeah.
other notes to say on
Oh,
that.
this
And
one's
the
my
murder-
favorite. Oh wait,
Yeah.
hold on. We'll cover this one.
Okay, I'll
Will 43's final moments during the Battle of Onyx.
Instead of running away, you're coming right to me? I can't beat the shit out of you without getting closer.
Dude, yeah, no. Spartan Will's death was badass. That he's just like
He's a
fucking
Chad.
like charges the hunters like head on.
Knocks one over, crashes and tumbles, and rips one apart with his bare hands. And in my head canon, he was laughing like a psychopath while ripping the one to pieces.
Yes, no. He has probably the best Spartan death of all. Oh, sorry, missing in action. My bad.
Yeah, missing in action.
Anyway, yeah, no. I also like this meme. Kurt, and this is my Mjolnir armor.
You mean Mjolnir.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay,
I know. I mispronounced it like fucking
Todd
what's his,
McLaren did.
yeah, Todd McLaren in the fucking like in the early audio books. Yeah, this is my Mjolnir armor.
Mjolnir. Whoa.
Yeah, I know. My brain fart. Anyway, said this is Kurt says this is where I keep my Mjolnir armor, but I don't get to use it. Yeah, that was fucking
I
hilarious.
thought he chose not to use it.
Yeah,
he refused. He
yeah,
refused.
no, that's the right. That's the. I mean, yes. Like, yeah, you're right. Because I still think that meme is funny though. Because I was like, he finds the Mark IV armor, but then he like puts on the SPI armor because and I think that was so sweet because he thinks of the Spartan 3s as like his family, and to
And
show
it
and like
puts on
because
the
he doesn't
Spartan
want to
2 armor.
alienate them by putting on the better armor.
Even though he probably could have survived the events of the book by putting on the better armor, but
And I
you
just
know.
No,
like to
he
think-
fucking nuked himself. That
Oh, yeah.
there's no armor. I mean.
I'm
What
saying
if
he
Chief
wouldn't. I'm
did
saying
the
he
same-
wouldn't. He wouldn't have been injured to the point where he would have had to nuke himself. So
Mm.
I think the nukes would have still been the last resort because even then, he had to keep them occupied until the very last minute. He wouldn't have been able to make it through.
Yeah.
I know they're
It's
not
kind of like with Sam. It's kind of like with Sam. Where he like, cause in Fall of Reach, like Sam gets wounded, his suit gets punctured. Which
By
that
Jack.
was also Mark IV, so that's kind of
Yeah.
funny. Like,
Yeah,
but
whatever.
yeah, but they
Okay,
because they're on a Covenant ship and they're like out in like in space. Like they can't really
reseal a
like
suit.
Sam
Back.
is basically dead either way because his suit has been like punctured and he won't survive out in the vacuum of space, so he basically has to
that
stay
reminds
back
me of another
and
meme.
arm the nuke. Blow
Real
up the
quick,
ship.
it's okay if I put two images, they're not means of what the SPI armor looks like, just for the
Yeah,
viewers,
sure.
And yes, these are my screenshots. And come on, load.
Oh, I will dispute the meme of the 1 month earlier thing because
Dude, no, that like the fuck from First Strike. But yes, I was just about to get to that.
Hold on.
Cortana. It's like that's the largest Covenant fleet I've ever seen.
There we go.
The largest anyone has ever seen. Yeah, 1 month earlier, like literally 500 ships from like the Covenant.
I
like,
think
nearly 5%.
the fleet around High Charity is actually bigger.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
no,
Nigeria
like-
doesn't even need defenses. It just has its fleet, which is so damn big.
Uh-huh.
Yep, those are my screenshots for SPI.
Because I think in the source book, High Charity's defense fleet was around about 5,000 super carriers.
So
Yeah,
that would technically be the biggest like fleet, but like in the cutscene we don't see 5,000 carriers. We
no,
just see...
they cycle through. They do the cheating image of the cycle sprites,
I need a minute.
Yeah.
which give game developers credit. They had to do it. But yeah, the SPI armor is very interesting.
Yeah, because it has like the Covenant, like it. I wouldn't say it's like Covenant technology, but it works similar to the Elite's like active
Cloaking
camo,
device.
Yeah.
where it can blend into the surroundings. Although I don't think it was as good.
No, the chameleon system was not that good compared to Elite active camo.
Well, the Elite active camo actually bent light. The chameleon system basically just like copies whatever's around it.
Oh
Yeah.
Two other memes.
Okay, let's see these.
They're called still.
Okay, Fall of Reach, animated movie. It's that
I'll be
was
fan-
stupid, Sam. You're not. You're not gonna leave.
I'll
I'm
be
not
that
gonna leave
was
you here.
stupid, Sam. I'm not gonna leave you here. You would do the same for me. Salute, novel. Sam, you're going to die. Stay with the bomb. Yes, sir, Chief.
Yeah,
And
that's great. Let's see. Sam died for this.
No, it shows the cat eared Spartan, and then it shows Kurt died for
Oh.
this. And speaking of Kurt's death, you don't mind if I go over that part, do you?
No, go
Yeah,
ahead.
sure.
not good.
That part was magical. Not in a sad way, but still. Well, the way Kurt even has a hallucination of Sam and all the other Spartans saluting him just before he activates the bomb, and the fact that Voro shows a bit of honor, saying, all right, Kurt, you and me, one-on-one duel, you know you're going to die anyway. So it still showed that Voro, despite being a ruthless zero to shipmaster, still wasn't just a total warmonger. And I was listening to the audiobook, on the Amazon version, it even had Never Forget Play after Kurt's death. I turned to the clock, and I shit you not, it was 1:17 a.m. Perfect timing.
I think
Master
I love the vert. Like he was in the ready stance, and all that Kurt did while he got the shipmaster in basically getting ready to fight.
Oh yeah, but speaking of
I love that Kurt just kicks the bomb to set it off.
Oh yeah, speaking of the cat ears, I love this meme. Ooh, by the cat ears, get away from me! Get away from me!
No, don't get away from them. Put a cap in both of their heads and show them who's boss.
Yeah, it's basically a play on the "I hate the Antichrist" meme, which is
No.
Yeah.
Let's see if I got any other memes. But back to you guys. The floor is yours for the time being.
Yeah.
That was sad. Kurt's sacrifice.
Yeah, Kurt in general is just like a really tragic character. I think he's like the most well-written character in this book.
Yeah, and with the Spartan 3 generations, Ackerson wasn't the only one who had a hand in the Spartan 3 program. There was a third that there was a fourth generation that even he didn't know of.
Oh,
Kurt.
yeah. Speaking of Kurt, though, I also thought it was sad.
One last image.
Okay.
It's not a meme, but it's a
I mean,
render of
reshare
Kurt's final
screen.
moment.
I did. All right,
It's
share.
below.
Or you could just send it to me. Send the image to me, and I'll just wait.
No, I'll just DM it to you. No
Okay.
worries.
Yeah.
If it'll load. Come on. Fucking thing never load. Oh, never mind. It's sent.
All right.
Oh, and speaking of Voro, I just imagine him in the standard gold elite armor, but he has Let Valier's helmet from Halo Wars 2, because in my headcanon, that is what the Shipmaster helmet looks like.
Oh, I was thinking a mix when I was thinking a mix of the like a slightly smaller version of the Covenant's Elite Senate helmet.
Ah, the Counselor helmet. Nice.
The Counselor helmet. Yeah.
No, Let Valier's helmet just works better for me as a Shipmaster's helmet.
Okay, I was just thinking a smaller version of the
Fair enough.
Counselor helmet, which would actually
Or
Beam.
I actually kind of come to think of it, like I kind of just imagined like
Zoro.
I honestly just imagined him wearing like the standard like zealot armor color, because this is like, because my brain was like imagining like the assets from like Halo 2 and Halo 3, so it's like, okay, he probably just has like a standard like zealot armor.
For me, I just imagine assets were just a fusion of all the old Bungie
Yes,
games.
this is the image you sent me.
Yep, there it is. Kurt's
Yeah.
last stand.
Yeah, pretty good.
Spartans never die. His last words.
Oh wait, there's those action figures?
No, it was a 3D render.
Okay. What was I say though?
Though you can find a SPI armor suit on Etsy, see for the Jazzwares figures. I haven't gotten it yet, but from what I've seen, it looks amazing.
Alright. I'm surprised they never made a figure of SPI, like, official.
Probably
Yeah.
because it was a book only armor. Oh, you forgot.
A missed opportunity with Halo 4. We should have seen Marines wearing SPI armor.
Missed opportunity with everything in Halo 4.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Except
but
Rail-
speaking
Rail-
of other missed opportunities, dude, I think you've actually, Barry, I know we were talking about this. Alright, little side rant. We can now talk about the Halo TV show.
Oh yeah, we just finished the book. As in the book, the book recap was quick and
May I have
thank
Yeah, and
you.
I think we did kind of like talk about a lot of the things that were like good about the book, and like we did recap it. I know
Let's
that
talk
like
from the book.
normally Courier, I know you like to go into more detail with like the summary.
But
And
this one, this book doesn't really need much, isn't it? It was very
I mean, yeah, you could say it's like, oh, and then like the Chief and Blue Team. Actually, oh shit, that's another thing I liked. I liked the
Chief
scene with
Cocaine.
I liked the scene where they were introduced to Kurt. Like because he basically knew okay, so basically this is like in the year 2531. They a Spartan Blue Team and Kurt, who's also the leader of Green Team, uh basically are on a mission to capture insurrectionists. They're trying to capture, I think they're trying to capture
A
nukes.
nuke. Yeah, just
Yeah.
one nuke stolen by the insurrection.
Yes, they're trying to capture a nuke. However, this is just a trap, because because the insurrectionists are really trying to capture the Spartans, and Kurt is able to figure this out just because they're carrying a bunch of anti armor rounds, because they have like a bunch of like armor piercing like 7.62 NATO, and they're like, you don't need that kind of firepower unless you're going up against somebody like a Spartan. And that's like from that one thing alone. And that's like he's like, oh shit, we're in trouble. And
Again,
like he basically
just a feeling.
saved Blue Team, because all of Blue Team gets captured, and then Kurt just comes along and just
gets an armored Warthog APC and just drives through the door.
yes, just fucking yeah. It was a good scene.
Just like
Yeah, I
Miranda.
think that was a good scene in the book. I like that scene. But anyway, back to the Halo
like
TV
the
show
four-
discussion.
Oh yeah, there was I like how Chief even cut on it. Like, oh yeah, the a 4-man team called Blue Team. And then Chief was like, wait, he doesn't know about Kurt because Kurt's part of Green Team.
Yes.
And then all you hear is a Warhog horn.
I almost kind of imagine like the fucking red versus blue, like the Warhog did it.
Oh my god.
Anyway, but you know,
Yeah.
it's funny because the whole thing with the Halo TV show is like, I feel like it's like all you had to do was just adapt the books, and
Nah, bro, we want to make our own fucking
And
timeline thing.
one thing I thought of while reading the Ghost of Ice, like you could have just made you could have just made stories about the exploit of Spartan 3s.
And actually, at first I thought that probably was like, I mean, it's like I thought it's like, I guess you could do that, but I understand with the way that they set up the show, your idea would actually work, because they set up this stupid girl character who nobody gives a shit about, but her family gets like her entire like town or village or whatever the fuck gets wiped out. What if what if we just take Master Chief out of the story, take all of the like main characters that we know from the Halo series out of the story, and just make the story about this girl becoming a Spartan 3? And that's all that they could have done that.
Yeah,
And
that requires effort.
but
No,
but the problem is they couldn't do that and have their fucking female empowerment bullshit because
really.
Yeah, with my idea of going, I was thinking with the Covenant, just have the creature design team and puppeteering crews of the Jim Henson Company to do a majority of the alien physical effects, so you don't
or get
rely
the
on
like
CGI.
or get like Blur Studios to do like the CGI.
That would have been amazing.
I would say get Blair Studios to help with the puppeteering, because if you have a physical puppet, like you can make an elite, like a legit looking elite costume for somebody to wear.
Well, I don't think Blur Studios would have like the know-how to make like
That's why I said
physical
you have
prop.
Jim Henson do the physical, and they work with Blur Studios to do the CGI overlay to
Yeah.
make them look better.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Because
They
if
had, like,
you
the
watch the
CGI,
show Farscape,
I'll be right back.
the Jim Henson Company
Okay.
made some really weird and interesting alien designs that would work for, say, a Halo series.
Yeah, like okay, but I do. Yeah, the Jim Henson Company did the physical effects, and like yeah, obviously Blur Studios would do like the CGI and would probably like the way I see it is that like they could probably get like the Jim Henson Company to do like the smaller species like the grunts
Oh no,
and
you could.
jackals.
The way you could do it is that you have to save money. You do all the major characters in the scene. Be done with the all the foreground elements. Be done with
Okay.
the physical stuff.
Okay, yeah, but the background like characters
Done
are
with
done with.
CGI and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think that could work. I think that would like they kind of did something similar in Jurassic Park, where like they had like the up close like versions of. I'm
Physical
talking
and
about the
CG
original
model.
Jurassic Park, the up close versions of the
It was all
dinosaurs.
animatronics or models. Yeah.
Yes, and then like the fucking like distance shots were CGI, and it's probably one of the special the effects of that movie have aged gracefully.
Even hilariously, Star Wars with both the prequel trilogy and even the special effects, they still had like an actual physical development prop to work with when doing the special editions.
Hmm.
Like that's why the CGI, although still dated, aged better than you would think.
Hmm.
Indeed.
But actually, come to think of it, like, dude, it's so funny because like movies, I feel like from the '90s, like I think the reason why the CGI works, I generally despise like CGI in general.
Yeah.
It feels kind of like fake and artificial, and even though it looks convincing, I just kind of like there's a thing in the back of my head. It's like this doesn't feel real,
You
and
would, yeah, you would.
I feel like the one case where I don't feel that way is like movies with the '90s, like Terminator 2. Like, that's the thing though. They use this new technology sparingly. They don't use it because they can. They use it because there's no other way to portray this effect other than using CGI.
I gotta show you the show Farscape, because yeah, you will enjoy it.
Anyway, but yeah, no,
Yeah.
like I'd say,
Sorry.
dude. Okay.
Back to the
Any other thoughts that you guys wanted to give on Ghosts of Onyx or the fucking god awful Halo TV show?
I'll say two things right off the bat. The bad thing, hello, whoever was in the chat.
Yeah, it was just Proton Stalker
Hello,
again. I didn't
Proton.
realize he's that's at the. I'm not
So,
sure if he's still in the chat
the
though.
bad thing, the Halo TV show. I have not seen episode 2. I saw
It's
episode 1
bad.
2.5 times. I know, obviously, and I'm not impressed. I don't like it, and that's putting it nicely.
I
But
could not get through the entire episode.
There's a magical black man on crack who knows the secrets of the Halo rings. He tells Master Chief
Imagine-
that.
Well, let me get to the good thing. Ghost of Onyx. Out of the 4 Halo books I've gone through so far, this might be the best one. It expands on the lore exponentially, fleshes out the characters more. This book is a masterpiece when it comes to Halo wise.
Oh yeah, my problem with the book though overall was just that there was like it felt like there was a lot going on and it kind of like made it like harder to follow than.
Strange part is I feared that, yet I had no issue. Strange.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I felt like it was a little bit like it wasn't a major issue. It just kind of felt like for me there was like a lot going on and it felt like it was borderlining on a little bit too much going on.
And I'm surprised when reading Ghosts of Onyx that, despite what it is, the Halo Reach game fits in nicely. Weirdly enough,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like as in, how would Halsey learn of the Spartan 3
Oh
rumors?
yeah, I was thinking about that. Where like, that's why Halsey knows about the Spartan 3s because of Noble Team.
Ah,
It's still like, I mean, we still like, it still like doesn't 100% line up with the events of Fall of Reach.
Well, George. It also points out that George, much like Kurt, was taken away by Oni
Yeah.
for quite a time from Halsey. So when Halsey sees George, it's like, oh,
what have
you're
you
one,
done with my
you're
arm?
one of my kids.
Uh,
And,
that's
yeah,
also
and
funny because George is like a behemoth of like a Spartan 2. Because he's like 8 feet tall.
he's about to start.
He's basically like able to rival that of an Astartes.
He's able to beat. He's able to beat a brute with his bare hands.
Yeah, dude. Actually, I come to think of it, probably George probably could go toe to toe with an Astartes. Not gonna lie.
Hey, he would have a better chance due to just how big he is.
Yeah, just how big he is. Also, the fact that he carries a fucking chain gun.
Yeah, we'll get to. I think we'll get to the Spartan versus Astartes in a later. In
Yeah,
a
I
in
think
a
that's a whole can of autism. We'll open later.
later. Yeah, when we go over the Horus Heresy books at some point. Oh
Oh
boy.
shit! If we ever, okay, that's actually a good point. If we ever run out of Halo books, we're gonna have to need a backup. So we have two choices. We have either, well, I guess we could actually three choices. Hello, Forrest. Anyway,
I disconnected.
yeah,
I'm
I
back.
saw that. So actually, Forrest, that's perfect timing. Anyway, what I was thinking, after we finish the Halo books, because we're eventually gonna run out of Halo books, we're gonna need something else to read. So I have a few options. I was thinking we could either read Star Wars books,
Hmm.
Warhammer books, just generic sci-fi books, like not generic sci-fi, but like classic sci-fi novels.
The inspiration for everything in modern science fiction.
Yeah, we could read like dude, I really want to reread Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. Maybe we'll reread that. Maybe we'll read the Starship Troopers novels.
We will read. We will read Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep after we do the Asimov robot series. I
After
am
we
putting
do the
that one there.
Okay, after we do that, and then maybe we should also probably read, what was the, oh yeah, Ender's Game. That'll probably be a good
Oh,
thing.
I've read Ender's Game. Oh boy, that's a good one.
Yeah, I've read it as well.
Movie's
It is a good
terrible.
one.
Movie's terrible, but the
Oh
book
yeah,
is so good.
the movie is bad, but like the fucking book was good. But anyway, the back to
I remember so much of that book, so I
back to
don't
the
even have to reread
yes.
it.
So okay, yes, but back to well, yeah, but if we do run out of Halo books of those like options, what would be the most appealing to you guys?
I don't know if I'd stick around with the book club after the Halo books because again, time and life is changing for me.
That's
For
fair.
me. So if I'm still able to do it, I say classic sci-fi because truth is I don't give that much of a damn about Star Wars. I won't even read the books, even the good ones at this point.
Okay,
We're not reading
if
any. We're basically like, if we were to do the Star Wars books, we would basically be reading the old EU. We
I
wouldn't
know,
be reading the
still.
new Disney canon because that's like
I refuse.
that's fair. That's fair. Like, actually, come to think of it, I probably don't want to give Disney money either.
Yeah, there is the archive. There is an archive site that has all the audiobooks that you could think of. So,
That's nice. I will probably do that because fuck you, Disney.
but for classic science fiction, I think setting up time for this Halloween, we will read Larry Niven's Ringworld.
If we're not in the middle of a trilogy, which we
If we're not
might
in the middle
be,
of a trilogy,
we might be. Although actually, October, I feel like that would be a good time to start the Forerunner trilogy because that's like when the Flood show up and shit. Like, yeah, we're gonna have to read after. Actually, yeah, because after we read the Karen not the after we read because the next book we're reading is Contact Harvest, then we'll read Cold
Fine.
Protocol, then we'll read the Karen Travis trilogy.
Oh.
Then we're gonna have to probably either read then we'll probably read the Forerunner trilogy, or we'll probably actually yeah, we'll get to that though after the because yeah, but dude, I'm not looking forward to reading the Karen Travis trilogy
I
because
I
so
cannot
far
continue.
the books that we've read have all been good. Now, Courier, I
Even
know you were saying that Halo the Flood was garbage.
Yeah, but the Karen
Oh.
Travis books are worse.
Oh yeah, oh shit, dude, I don't think the Halo the Flood is that bad. Is it
I thought it was tolerable.
it's not good literature, but at least it's like interesting lore.
It's entertaining.
It was tolerable, yeah.
if
It's not wasn't like I couldn't read it.
yeah, no, it's not like I
I've,
said, it's not good literature though. Like
I,
it's
I've heard that. Well, for me, having some experience with the Warhammer books, you have not read Aaron Densky Bowder's books, so I will reserve judgment for the if they are worse, if those books that you're for Halo are worse than those.
Mm.
So I'm sorry, I have to put that, much like the Halo series being worse than Cowboy Bebop.
oh yeah, dude. You were saying nothing could be worse than Cowboy Bebop. Then it's funny because when I watched the first episode of Cowboy Bebop, I at least made it through the first episode with
You mean the
the group
Netflix
of friends.
version?
Yes, the
Yeah.
Netflix version. I at
Ugh.
least made it through the first episode. As cringe and as awful as it was, uh dude, we at least made it through the episode. Unlike Halo, where we just nah, fuck this shit. Like we're watching Top Gear instead.
Nice. I still have to suffer through episode 2. God help me.
Oh, by the yeah, Curry, are you watching it with the idiots from Sisyphus server? The Halo show?
Well, we did that. Me and the boys did that last time.
Okay, I'm just talking but yeah, you guys watching it with Mike Testa and everybody else, and Tedros and
Courier?
all the other.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, yeah, no, I was just wondering. Why do you guys always watch bad stuff? Why do you guys never watch good
Don't you
stuff?
think we've been having the
We do
recording
watch
going on a
good
little too
stuff.
much?
Oh, that's right. You do watch good stuff occasionally, but most of the time
Yeah, we
you guys
watched
are
a good
watching
Gundam
bad
show
stuff.
and there's some
Yeah,
other
okay, yeah, because that's right. We watched Hacksaw Ridge together. We watched what was the Rocket Boys movie called? October Sky.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
Right.
we watched that together. That was good.
I have to head off now.
All
Farewell,
right.
gentlemen. It was fun.
Talk to you
Alright.
later. Actually, yeah, that's
See you,
probably yeah. See ya. Anyway, yeah, that's probably a good time to wrap it up. Courier, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add. I know that we kind of we're discussing a lot of the events out of chronological order.
Yeah, no. No, that's pretty much it.
Okay, actually, a good question though. Of the books we've read so far, how would you rate them in terms of worst to best?
I'd probably say my favorite is that's a hard one actually. I'd probably say it's I'd say Ghosts of Onyx, then Fall of Reach, then First Strike, then The Flood.
Okay.
If I had to rate them, but the only one that I really dislike is The Flood. All the others I enjoy very much. The Flood's the only one that I don't enjoy reading too much.
Like I said,
Yeah,
yeah.
I did enjoy the book, but mostly the Covenant and Marine side story parts.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it as a piece of lore history. I think a lot of the stuff that happens in Halo the Flood is better off explained in one of those hidden Xperia videos.
Yeah,
Then it's because it's like I said, it's not
if I
good
had
literature.
if I had to rewrite the book, I go, okay, have mentions of Chief's position on the UNSC side and have like a small anecdote by, say, Cortana, as it's a recounting of the events
Hmm.
from records. That's it. Do not focus on Chief, because people would have played the game if they're reading this book.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
And
no, that's pretty much an accurate assessment, though.
but yeah, and that's the other thing. Like though, like the fact that like. Actually, yeah, no, never mind. Yeah, but yeah, because we all know the fucking parts of like Chief and like. Actually, I feel like if they just like remove those sections from like the flood probably would have been decent.
Yeah, I would say not remove them completely, as in there would be some moments where you need a timetable, which
Also,
the
okay, yeah,
game's moments would be a good
but you
thing.
also have like at the beginning of every chapter, they literally state the time and date of the
I was saying in relative to the game's events, having those moments, so you go, oh, so that's
Okay.
that's what's happening while Chief is here.
Yes. Anyway, but
Yeah, sorry.
yeah, I keep saying though, because like the flood, like the Halo of the Flood, it's not good literature. Very good lore bits though.
Yeah, except for the fact that of all things, the guy who wrote the book had to see a playthrough on easy.
Yeah, there's no way he actually played the game on easy.
Like even I at least play the cutscenes in Legendary just so I know what Sergeant Johnson says in the beginning.
Dude, I
Also, lack of Sergeant Johnson in the Halo of the Flood.
yeah, dude, we talked about it. Like Sergeant Parker was basically the replacement of like flood.
But yeah,
Yeah, which they fixed that with having like Sergeant John. Like, dude, Eric Nyland like more than made up for that by making like Sergeant Johnson one of the main characters in First Strike. Actually, come to think of it, I'd say okay if I
I'm
were
gonna
to
be
rate
heading
the
out
books.
now, so
All
I'll
right,
talk
talk
to
to
you
you
guys later.
later. But yes, as if I were to rate the books we've read so far and worst to best, I put Flood. Ironically, then Fall of Reach, then Ghost of Onyx, then First Strike, because I really loved First Strike. I think that one's my favorite. Ghost of Onyx is still really good though. And in your
Yeah.
what's your rankings?
Uh, I'd go with First Strike, Onyx, and then in no particular order. I'm still trying to figure out that one.
Okay.
First Strike, and then Fall of Reach, and then the Flood. Like it's
all right.
yeah.
Okay. So wait, okay. You said all right. Your order is best. Wait. Okay. Can you say that again? Because Forest was
from
messaging me.
best to worst. Fall of was First Strike and Ghost of Onyx in no particular order because I'm still trying to figure that out.
Okay.
Uh, Fall of Reach and then the Flood.
All right. So
Yeah.
do you think that Fall of Reach is slightly worse than Ghost of Onyx and First Strike? I guess that's a fair assessment. I think like for a Fall of Reach is okay, and then so Forrest, he's in the chat now. His rating of worst to best is Flood. Yeah, we all know Flood is garbage. And then equal place, First Strike and Fall of Reach. And then first place is Ghost of Honor. It's so funny because I think we all generally have a similar pattern, but I think we all rate the book slightly different. Because I think Courier put First Strike as like his third best, and then yeah, like I put it as my favorite, and then yeah, but yeah, no, I think it's funny because like we all like have our like different opinions on the books, but it's funny because all of the books that we've read so far have been good. Even the Flood was like was good. Like was good lore wise. Again, not good literature wise. Because those are that is like the because here's the good thing about like the Halo books. They don't well they should be good literature, but they don't have to be good literature because they could stick because if they have interesting lore, then they could still be redeemed if they like if not like oh I read this like once and I never want to read it again kind of deal. Cause yeah, I don't think I ever would want to reread Halo the Flood, but fucking like hell, I would probably reread Fall of Reach, or I probably would reread First Strike. Definitely reread First Strike. First Strike was amazing.
Yeah. And next is Contact Harvest. We're going back
Yep.
in time to
Yes, we are
2525.
Yes, we are going back to Bifrost. Yes, we are going back to 2525, back to Battle of Harvest.
Following Sergeant Avery Johnson.
Yes. And wasn't if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Contact Harvest written by Jason Joe not Jason Joe Staten?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So that should be interesting reading the book written by Joe Staten.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but yeah, now that everybody's kind of already left, we're kind of just dragging this out. I think this is now a time to end. I forgot
Yeah.
to include the link to the Discord on this stream.
Oh, that could be
However,
done. That could be done in post.
yeah, I know, but like if
Just
it for the people watching it live, they're probably gonna have to go to the previous stream to click the Discord link. But we'll probably we'll probably head over to the Discord where we'll probably chat more about Halo books and
Halo
cars
books,
because we were
random
talking
stuff.
about we were talking about fucking Volkswagens earlier before the stream.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you everybody for watching, whether you guys watched it live or whether you guys are watching the replay. Um, and if any of you guys have read the books of these books, let us know in the comments what you guys thought of the books. Be appreciated. Oh yes, by the way, yes, if you are wondering if you should read Ghost of Onyx, yes, you should definitely read it. It is good literature and it has adds a shit ton to the lore.
Yep.
But yes, that'll be all. We'll catch you guys next time.
Yep.